Straight ahead on 12 News Weekend, North Hennepin's lunchroom lesson.
I've never been excited about garbage before.
How the college plans to get the campus to think garbage. Plus, a Northwest Metro suburb does something not seen in any other Minnesota city. But first, a revealing new report on poverty and its impact on area cities. 12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. I'm Shannon Slatton.
And I'm Delane Cleveland. A new study paints a revealing picture of the disparities between whites and non-whites in the Twin Cities.
The study by the Metropolitan Council shows 6% of whites live in poverty in the metro compared to 25% for people of color. That disparity is worse than urban areas like Atlanta, Dallas, and Washington, D.C. As Sonia Goins reports, it's a disparity that has had significant impact on Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center.
What's the name of the shop?
Elegant Hair Design.
Ciandi Roberts has lived in Brooklyn Park for 10 years.
No, it's not getting better.
She's also the owner of Elegant Hair Design.
Well, I think it's a job opportunities and a pay rate.
Ciandi is from Liberia. She says although she's successful, the same is not true for other immigrants.
It's working for me, but not for everybody, not for a lot of people. And it would be better if a lot of people or a lot of Africans were employed.
The Met Council agrees. It released a report that shows 12% of the Metro's 3 million residents live in poverty. Many are immigrants who live in the suburbs.
It shows that portions of Brooklyn Park, along with Brooklyn Center and Richfield, are new suburban areas that are considered racially concentrated areas of poverty.
Racially concentrated areas of poverty is an area where 50% of the residents are people of color, and 40% of them live in poverty.
The report is really talking about inequities in the region, inequities in opportunity, inequity in financial and economic capacity, and how that affects the growth of the region.
Now, the report also says that children who live in these so-called racially concentrated areas of poverty also live near schools who are underperforming. Now, while the Osseo School District agrees with that statement, they say they are seeing improvements.
We had really nice growth in our graduation rate, and this is specifically at Park Center, which is the senior high that would serve the majority of the areas that were identified in the report.
Officials say everyone should be concerned when it comes to racially concentrated areas of poverty because it affects us all.
Any public policymaker in the region should be concerned about this because, again, the success of the whole region depends on the success of all people in the region.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
One thing the study doesn't look at is graduation growth. The Osseo School District points that it had a nearly 15% increase in the graduation rate among African American students.
While the Great Recession cost thousands of people their jobs, one Minnesota city saw the exact opposite. According to figures released by the state this week, Golden Valley was the only city in Minnesota that actually saw job growth every year between 2007 and 2011. Companies in the city added nearly 2,200 jobs during that time span. City officials attribute the job growth to several factors.
One, we're gifted to have some outstanding employers in the community, General Mills, Allianz, Tenant, and many small, very strong small businesses as well. And I think location also provides for that.
Ironically, the State Department of Employment and Economic Development found that once the recovery was underway in 2011-2012, Golden Valley saw an employment decline of 1.3%.
The numbing cold isn't going away, and that could tempt you to let your car run unattended. However, it's actually illegal in some cities to leave a car running unattended. In New Hope, there is no ordinance against it. But police there say they had one case in which an idling car was stolen and then used in a string of crimes.
The owner came out to find the vehicle being driven away after leaving the vehicle running and unlocked. The vehicle was subsequently used in several thefts and robbery type events, purse snatchings, things along those lines.
That car was eventually recovered in another city.
Brooklyn Park police are asking residents to take extra precautions after recent burglaries at apartment buildings around town. 8 burglaries have been reported at 6 different buildings since November. In all of the cases, burglars gained access through ground-level patio doors. Police don't believe the same person is responsible for the break-ins. Crime Prevention Coordinator Jerry Gibbs says some of these residents made themselves easy targets by leaving their patio doors unlocked.
In the winter months, we all try to take shortcuts because it's cold out or we're in a hurry and it's going to take us a little longer to get places.
Recommend placing a wooden stick in the track of your sliding glass door or install a Charlie bar. That makes it more difficult for an intruder to get in.
The Brooklyn Park City Council could vote Monday on whether to approve the city's first multifamily apartment project in more than 20 years. Continental Properties wants to build 340 two-story townhome-style apartments north of Highway 610. Those plans, however, conflict with the city's comprehensive plan, which calls for large commercial retail. Some argue that plan is obsolete given the changing retail conditions.
The big box is not going to be around much longer. Online shopping is the thing, and being in the retail business for over 20 years, I've seen it.
Do I believe that in the future we'll get better than what this brings to the table? Yes, I do. Am I 100% sure? No, I'm not.
A special development task force argues the city should be patient and this land could be put to better use than apartments.
In our Week in Review, it's back to the drawing board for Osseo school officials to address an overcrowding issue. The district plans to use the next school year to come up with a better solution for overcrowding at Basswood Elementary. It had put forth two different proposals, both of which received complaints from parents. As a result, no students will be shifted to other schools in the district next school year. A well-known bowling alley and golf course has suddenly closed in Dayton. Mayor Tim McNeil says the news that Sundance Golf and Bowl was closing came as a shock. He says Sundance was a successful business and had been there for 2 generations. However, he says there was a dispute between the owners and the landlord. And foodies can finally rejoice. Travail is serving up food once again at its new Robbinsdale location. Donors who gave to Travail's Kickstarter campaign will get the first bites. Travail officially opens to the public Tuesday, February 4th at 5 p.m. Well, coming up on 12 News Weekend, a dirty job that will actually help North Hennepin Community College become a greener campus.
And then later in sports, Maple Grove's girls hockey team takes down the state's top-ranked team.
But first, get used to the cold. It's sticking around all through next week.
If someone gave you $15,000 to be more environmentally friendly, how would you spend it?
Well, that's a question North Hennepin Community College gets to answer after the school received an environmental education grant. Lunchtime at North Hennepin Community College brings hundreds of people to the campus center's cafeteria. What they do with their waste is where students such as Paul Kelly,
Well, this is the only planet you have. You can't go nowhere else.
Christine Griffin,
It's a way for us to save money while we're at school.
and Adway Pugh come into play.
We're excited about it, yeah. And I've never been excited about garbage before.
They have reason to be excited. For the second consecutive year, North Hennepin received a $15,000 grant that will actively engage 250 students and campus staff in recycling, waste reduction, and water protection initiatives on campus.
It was so exciting to find out that, that our partnership is going to grow even stronger. Having that opportunity to connect for 2 years in a row, I mean, it's just amazing.
The college already has signs showing people the difference between what to recycle and what to throw away. But the additional funding will help bring in guest speakers to talk about environmental issues, fund various Earth Week activities, and allow students to participate in hands-on demonstrations.
We'll come right over here to our garbage bin right here. We'll take it out. We'll all put on rubber gloves, and we'll open up that garbage bag, and we'll go through it and say, look, we could have recycled this, we could have recycled this.
That's going to get their attention when we start digging in the garbage, because most people will say, oh, why did you do that?
It might be a dirty job, but the students here say every little bit helps to make North Hennepin a cleaner and greener place. Well, students and faculty at North Hennepin say many of the environmental programs they're hoping to do will take place the week of April 21st during Earth Week. Well, still ahead, our interview with Congressman Ellison, who talks about life growing up in Detroit and about his life as a congressman.
But first, his playing career is over, but former Osseo hockey star Trent Klatt is still involved in the NHL. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox.
Welcome back. Jay Wilcox joins us now with sports. Sounds like there was a big upset in girls high school hockey.
That's right, and a great way to close out the regular season. Now we're getting ready to playoff time, too. Hopkins is ranked number 1 in the state Class AA girls hockey poll. Maple Grove hasn't gotten a whole lot of notice, but they're at number 18, and they showed they're a team to watch when they hosted Hopkins on Thursday. This one at Maple Grove's rink, and the Crimson strike less than a minute in. Taylor Wente to Summer Thibodeau for the spinorama goal. In the second period, Maple Grove with nice puck movement on the power play, and Wente will knock the rebound in for a 2-0 Crimson lead. Less than a minute into the third, though, Corbin Boyd centers the puck to Grace Bazal, and Hopkins cuts the lead in half. It's now 2-1. With just over 2 minutes left in regulation, Jillian DeYoung scores for the Royals, and this one is headed to overtime. And that's where Maple Grove takes it. They buzz around the net, and sophomore Lauren Kaufman scores. Maple Grove knocks off top-ranked Hopkins 3-2 in overtime. In boys basketball, Heritage Christian Academy hosting Bethany Academy. First half, Bethany's Seth Coopersmith goes up for the layup, and that gets the Eagles within 1 at 5-4. Heritage comes right back, though. Joel Vershek finds C.J. Woda for the open 3, putting the Heritage Eagles up by 4 points. Bethany looks to stay in it. Coopersmith drives and swings a pass over to Sam Hagan for a 3, but that cuts the lead to 22-13. Heritage continues to dominate in the first half. Nice passing before Vershek hits a 3, giving them a 31-14 lead. They're up 19 at the half. On to second half action. Tanner Scott misses a 3, but Drew Kleinschmidt grabs the rebound and bowls his way in for 2 of his game-high 19. Heritage wins it 51-31. After growing up in Brooklyn Park and starring at Osseo High School, hockey standout Trent Klatt had a great college career for the Gophers and played 14 seasons in the NHL. He's now head of amateur scouting for the New York Islanders, and we caught up with Klatt when he was in the Twin Cities. Tell us a little bit about your position right now. What are some of the duties involved with your job with the Islanders?
Well, I'm the head amateur scout, so basically what I do primarily is travel around the country and around the world for that matter, trying to find kids that are draft eligible for the first time. Those are typically high school seniors. And the most difficult thing is actually comparing the different leagues that all these kids play in. Some kids are actually in college, some kids are in high school, some kids play junior hockey in Canada. I even end up in Europe watching some of the elite leagues over there. So to try to compare an 18-year-old kid at many different levels is a difficult task at times. And then on top of that, I also work with our players that we do draft. One of the things that we try to do is have a relationship with these guys. When they're 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, they don't have many people in their life right at that point in time telling them what to do or how to do it. So we try to just offer a little relationship with them, having been there, done that.
From your perspective now, how do you feel that Minnesota hockey is preparing kids for, potentially pro careers? Do you feel good about what you see when you go around to the rinks in this state?
I'm a little troubled at this point, to be honest with you. I think Minnesota is unique, and I can tell everyone that throughout the world, Minnesota allows kids to stay at home until the age of 18. Nowhere else in the world can kids do that. So I'm biased to that. I appreciate that. I don't like to see kids leave high school. There's no reason for it. Junior hockey is great. There's nothing wrong with it. And the USHL is a terrific league now, and much better than it was 20 years ago. But in my personal opinion, it's not a necessity.
With the Islanders now, how much time do you get to spend, actually seeing the big club or seeing NHL games, or is it pretty much you're on the road and not, able to be in the arenas very often?
I try to get out there as much as I can. I normally see 4 to 6 games a year. I've been doing it such a short time that there's really not a lot of guys that I've watched, we've drafted, that are there yet. So I tend to spend more time in Bridgeport, which is our minor league team.
Trent was definitely a good one. The first high school hockey game I ever did here, he was playing for Osseo.
Really, you've come full circle.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Jay.
You're welcome.
Still ahead, our interview with Congressman Keith Ellison.
He wrote a book that talks about his faith, politics, and the one thing he hid from his parents. We'll be right back.
And finally, a behind-the-scenes look at the life of a congressman.
Keith Ellison is out with a book titled My Country, 'Tis of Thee. Reporter Sonia Goins talked with the congressman about his new memoir.
This is a song that helped inspired Congressman Ellison to write his book.
And I thought to myself, wow, what a moving moment.
He got emotional hearing Aretha Franklin's version of My Country, 'Tis of Thee.
Kind of made me think about the juxtaposition in our country of the strive toward liberty and the challenges that we had to overcome to get to liberty.
The first 2 chapters are about his parents. His mother's a social worker and his father a psychiatrist.
My dad was born in Detroit. His father was born in rural Georgia, and my mother is directly from Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Readers might be surprised to find that his father is a Republican.
Because my dad really does buy the small C conservative line of work hard, save your money, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But he calls himself a Republican, but he hasn't voted for one for a long time.
My Country, 'Tis of Thee also includes some funny moments, like when Ellison tried to hide his afro from his parents.
You pat it down in the morning, put a hat on, leave the house, and then pick it out when we got to school.
But the book also hits on some serious issues like immigration and racism.
The book is about overcoming, and it's a contested idea between people who want to keep power to themselves and those who want to be included in this American franchise.
Ellison also talks candidly about being elected as the first Muslim to serve in Congress. He also talks about the flack he got for taking the oath on the Quran.
And some people were upset about that. I'm like, whatever. You want me to be honest and true and do what's right for my district and this country, then I should swear on the book that I believe in.
Ellison says he hopes the book will give his constituents a better idea of what motivates him and makes him tick.
I'd like them to look for their own story and the story that I share with them. I'd like them to know why I believe in generosity and inclusion.
And Ellison remembers his dad always saying there are no handouts or no hand-ups. It's a mantra that means no excuses. If his dad could make it in this world, so could he and his 4 brothers.
And if the only thing he ever hid from his parents was the fact that he had a different hairdo, then that's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I'd say that, sure.
That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
We'll see you again at 4 o'clock. Have a nice weekend.